Hi, this is Bridget from Speech Therapy Talks membership, and I am coming on here again to show you a little bit more about our membership. Last week, or last email, I should say, we talked about how to log in, how to cancel, how to update your account, and I quickly went through some of my favorite games. Today, we're going to focus only on WH questions. So I know this is a very common goal that we have as speech therapists, and I have a lot of options for you. So let's kind of jump right over and get to it. Again, you go to members-speechtherapytalk.com, you log in, you put in your credentials, and if you need language, WH questions materials, you go to language, WH questions. Now there is a lot here, so I'm going to go quickly through it. If you have any questions, of course, you can email me. So we have some background information. If you need it, click on it. I have some WH cue cards here, simple things you can print out, cut out, and it's cue cards for all the WH questions. But I really want to jump to the good stuff. So my new favorite, one of my absolute favorite teaching materials is this WH question story retell. So I have two options for you. One's in black and white, one's in color. The only difference is that if you have to print out, you have to print them yourself and you have to pay for printing, you might want to do WH. Or the color pictures are just a little more colorful. Okay, so this is my theory behind these materials. So you have a picture here and it's just a picture. There's no story. So this is for children who are learning WH questions and you want to take out some of that language stuff, like listening to a 3, 4, 5 sentence story. Instead, we're going to practice WH questions just by looking at a picture. And we're going to answer our who, what, doing, where, and when questions. So who is this story about? Kids. What are they doing? They're playing, they're climbing. Where are they? They're at the park, they're at the playground. When are they playing? During the summer, during the day. If you want to do past tense verbs, in a minute, I'll show you. You could say yesterday. You could tell them this happened yesterday. And then once they answer these WH questions, you hop right down to retelling the story. So yesterday at the park, the children played. Or during the summer on the playground, the children are climbing. You know, whatever you want to do, you practice answering the questions, and if if it meets your child's goals, you practice retelling the story. So they get practice on answering the questions and then using those questions in more conversational tasks or in narrative structure, in setting, in social groups, you know, practicing sharing what you did last weekend, whatever you need to do, whatever your goals are. I really like pairing these two together for just that. For figuring out what questions mean what, and then how do I put that in a sentence to explain my ideas. So this is just one of my absolute favorite materials. Then I have kind of a mixed bag here. I'm going to go through them of some WH practice questions using Google Slides. So I have just a very simple yet very effective who, where, when questions. For these, you have to use them in slideshow. And we have just a review of WH questions if you need them. And then you have pictures and you can, every time you answer a question, and you click the screen, the response flies in for you. So who, where, when is this happening? So you have that option, or the very exact same thing. You have, they have to retell the story. Basically what we just did in the worksheet form, you have to click slideshow. The same thing, you first go through the questions and then you put it together. The kids are jumping in the forest. So you can use that for prepositions, for grammar, if you have a mixed group, for, you can even get some articulation in there, or you can practice your WH question story retell. And then you have some just like simple ones, like where questions. This one's a nice one. It's where, but it has some options if the child needs some options, like where do you get apples? You know, where do you eat dinner? Or some WH questions like this one that doesn't have the answer. So they have to, you know, create the sentence and then you can check to see if they're right. Again, have to press slideshow. Who plays baseball? A baseball player. That kind of thing. but they don't have the option. So it's a little more challenging. Now, this one is kind of a fun one. It's hot chocolate, so that's why I call it winter, but you can use it at any time. And this is a Google slide, and they're more of a game. So if you click on access materials, you have where questions. Have to use these in slideshow. And you have these cards over here, and you have marshmallows over here. Every time a child answers a question, a marshmallow pops in the chocolate when you click the screen. So where is this child? He's in the wagon. Where is this child? In the pool. So after they answer their WH questions, the marshmallows jump in. If you have a mixed group, you could do whatever you need to do. Maybe the child is working on CHs, so they can say hot chocolate, or whatever you need to do. You can adapt it to your group. So we have a bunch of, you can read these, but we have a bunch of different options, why, where, when, what doing. Now, this one is probably my most go-to because I can use it for a variety of goals, but also these get us thinking about our thinking, which I think is so important. So if you click on this one, now you don't have to do slideshow. You can click these in edit mode, or you can do slideshow, whatever you would like. But who is this story about, and how do you know? So I would say this is a farmer, and how do I know that is that he's in fields, he's checking on his crops. That's how I know it's a farmer. Or who is this? A scientist. How do I know that? Well, I see gloves, I see beakers, I see glasses. Those are how I know it's who it is. So I really like these because it gets the child answering the question, and then why? How did you come up with that answer? Get them thinking about their thinking. These ones are for children who need to practice creating WH questions. And this is good for kids who are working on grammar and kids who are working on answering them, because both goals are in the same stimuli material. And I'll show you what I mean. So each one of them they're kind of like groups. So I have who scrambled and who need to answer. When scrambled, when need to answer. So who scrambled is the easiest. So when you click on it, you're going to get this thing here that says make a copy. You have to make a copy because this has to be used in edit mode. And what I mean by that is you do not click slideshow. You have to stay in edit mode, and you can use these words and you can unscramble them to write a sentence. So you have a boy catching a ball, or you have a soccer player catching a ball, and the children are challenged with creating the sentence. Who is catching the ball? As they go through and answer the question, you can drag the answer to blank spaces. They can practice reading it, and then they can practice answering it if they want to. And you can click through and go through all these slides. Or you can jump over for children who are getting pretty good at it. You don't want them to have the picture stimuli. So this time you have to press slideshow, and you have to write a who question. So they just have to write it. So every time they say a word, you click the screen and the word appears. So who is brushing his teeth? The boy is brushing his teeth. So you can write the sentence, answer the sentence. So you have all these options for where, what doing, why. And then these are also my other go-to. They're just picture stimuli. So I'm in winter now. Let's just do winter. You can click slideshow or not. You can stay in edit mode here and you can go through, but who's this picture? Who's in this picture? Where is the person? What happened? So I see a child, I see them in a park making a snowman. All right, then the very last is WH worksheet. So this is the more typical things that you've probably seen and have, but these are different worksheets that you can do in spit therapy. You can send home. We have a lot of options here. You can write when questions. So let's click on when. When do you go to bed? They can answer the question. This one, you have choices. So sorry, it's taking time to load. Where do you get apples? They can circle the answer. we have prepositions. So this one's actually kind of good. I like this one. So where is the ball? They can work on sentences. They can work on prepositions. They can work on marking all the words, grammar. So it's very simple stimuli on purpose so they can focus on creating their sentences. So, and then some more WH worksheets, like just again, kind of typical questions. What's this person doing? She is jumping rope. And then some of my favorite early intervention. So for kids who are working on WH questions who are 2 or 3, they're not going to sit down for flashcards. They're not staring at a screen, but you can work on them during playtime. So this would be more for you're going to give to parents to send home to practice, like how to work on who questions while playing toys, or how to work on who questions during bedtime while reading books. And these are just printable worksheets. Like this one is who questions playtime. You might want to get out some animals while you're playing. You can say, who's that? Or who's in the barn? Or things like that. So it just gives some concrete examples for how parents can work on WH questions while in more natural functional settings. And then what questions too. Okay, so that's a lot. I know I kind of talked really fast. I did that on purpose. I wanted to get through all the materials. If you have any questions, please email me. Any feedback, tell me what's going on, and I will see you again soon with more videos on more awesome materials that you have access to. All right, thanks. Have a great day.